Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. Last time around we took over Moldova and we marched on an Ottoman army that was hiding within Crimean territory, so we had to declare war on the Crimeans as well. I wasn't able to completely chase them down as they actually retreated far away from me. So I decided, you know what, they're not really a threat anymore since I've defeated them in battle twice. So instead it's time for us to go against the Crimeans. And before we do that, I also have now recruited grenadiers. So we have 4 grenadier regiments marching down from Warsaw. And we're gonna have some other nice troops coming up pretty soon. Also, I've been managing to get pretty good ministers at this point. Before we had absolute shit ones. It's only the army one that's still not really up to scrap. But we've got a good guy for justice, giving plenty of points there for treasure and for the head of government. And now, latest. Oh, you know what? Do I have you for navy? Let's do it that way. That's a lot better. Why did I have him for navy? That was silly. We don't even have a navy. I don't think I've even built an admiralty yet. With that said, it's time for us to go ahead and attack the Crimeans and destroy them. So we got bridge battle. Oh, they are actually getting supported by the towns. They get support all the way from the town. And the Ottomans as well. So the circle in which reinforcements can arrive is pretty darn large. Which actually makes this a little bit of a harder battle than we thought. With that said, however, I still think we're gonna win. So without further ado, let's go ahead and draw into battle, shall we? Our aim is to cross the river, but also we are getting the Ottomans turning up on our side of the river. However, since I've beaten them twice, I don't think they're that strong of a contingent, as long as they do not deploy that volley gun. So we'll have the cavalry move around to spot them and destroy them. With that said, let's go ahead and start. So we've got the Crimeans across. They've deployed defenses. They don't actually have that many Cossack units. They have a lot of like regular line infantry. Just a bit disappointing that they don't have, like, they're all Cossacks. I have quite a few Cossacks actually. And I just noted that the Ottoman force is turning up right in our flank. So I'll send the cavalry there immediately. And the thing is, I think the Cossacks might actually have to cross over to fight us. And not the other way around. But even with that, I am going to cross. Blasting up those guys. Right, so it's a few populars and a few of these Israelis. And the cavalry will go straight for them. No pardon, gentlemen! Crush them. Now, first cavalry strikes, and here comes the second unit. And absolutely just crushing this Ottoman unit, almost losing 100 men in the first few seconds. And they do actually, they have 1 volley gun left. No, there's actually 2. And they have 2 wheels this time around. At the same time, we're crossing with the entire army. Quite the massive force now crossing the river. the firing into... With 2 units, the Lancers not too happy with the Assars firing straight into them. The Lancers, of course, more useful for the shock of their initial strike. Okay, we need to hurry across to deploy because they're ready to meet us. And as the Uhlans, they actually lost quite a few men. We're gonna have to swing in from the sides. The provincial cavalries are not actually doing that well. But with that said, their general was actually killed, or their commander. And with that renewed charge, geez, they actually did deploy it and fire it. Which crushed, it like massacred my unit. But luckily for me, it was enough. The charge was enough to break them. I want the militia on this side to fire across. And then I want the cannons to focus in on this unit, because they can bounce through all of this. And as we defeated this one, we can now move these guys up. And we can move these a bit forward. As the pikemans, or the pikemen, are now moving into position. So quite heavy casualties on the cavalry, but we did silence the guns and we did silence the Ottomans. But the cavalry won't be used anymore throughout this battle. The cannon shots devastating the enemy, and deciding to move closer to our lines, which I don't know if that would be advisable. And now they're all kind of breaking. So the first force of the enemy is breaking down. We can see further up here that their reinforcements are coming in. More Cossack units, but mostly normal line infantry. The enemy rallied, but they're taking heavy fire from the cannons. Bouncing shots in from the side, bouncing up through the lines, killing loads of them. And the Ataman has to look on in horror as his troops get utterly crushed by the Polish line infantry. Let's see if I can find a opportunity to reorganize these. We can get a straight line going. I think we do have that opportunity to move quickly, and then the pikes will follow and be quite close. I think it might be time to tell the artillery to actually focus in on a cavalry unit instead of the line infantry. Yeah, the militia don't really have the range to fire across the river. Oh, they're actually going close enough that a little bit of melee ensued. Oh, and 2 cavalrymen decide they're gonna try their luck and charge in the Polish line, but they're quickly outnumbered and brought down. And now the reinforcements from the town has arrived and are ready to make their attempt on the Polish line. But the Polish line seems to be quite steady. Steady as a mountain. No one has... they've not even done that much damage on it. 25 men roughly throughout on each unit, which isn't that much given how many men they have lost in turn. And the cavalry charged through, or tried to. I'll give it give them a few more shots before I will order the pikemen for a general advance straight through all of this. And I think now is actually the time for the pikemen. The enemy is quite close, so we'll order the pike line to advance, and with that we'll silence the guns. We'll also tell the artillery to hold fire, as we're expecting melee. And melee ensues all along the line here as I advance just at the right time to catch the Tatars' bayonet charge. All across the line. Even a cavalry charge going in towards the pikes. Which I don't see how they expect to actually get through. There's one unit there. We'll ordered the artillery to target that. Bristling pikes all over the place. I would not want to try to charge into this hedgehog. Or thousands of Polish pikemen. Cutting everyone apart. They sent the unit and wheel onto this one. And the rest can focus in there. And one by one, the Tatars' units are giving up as they're being completely cut down by the pikes. And once this is done, that's pretty much it. Oh, the artillery yeah, the artillery is firing. Throwing up the flank on this unit. There's only the Cossacks left. This unit will, or these 3 regiments will advance. All of them will actually advance. Because all of the enemy has now been defeated. And at this point, the infantry will advance with them. And the artillery will focus in on the cavalry. So now it's just seeing the enemy off the field and completely securing the river crossing. Cutting through all of them. Cannons here, cutting up the general and his bodyguard. As he, in horror, looks on to all his infantry leaving the field. Cannon gets one kind of last volley off towards the enemy general, and hopefully he'll retreat, or hopefully he'll ride straight into the pikes, but hopefully before or after a cannon shot, so we don't actually lose any men. This unit will halt because they're within range to actually shoot down the general before it causes a load of harm. I moved into the flank. They were able though to fire upon him. Oh, and the militia on the other side was able to fire upon him. And he's broken. And that should be it. I thought, but there's a line infantry that's turned up in our flank. But that should be easily remedied. 3 regiments forward there. And then pikemen backing them up. So it's only 106 men. I think they'll probably, once we start shooting at them, they'll probably retreat. In case they don't, this pike unit will go ahead and see them off the field. They're actually breaking. They're breaking before we get the chance to fire at them, just by the sight of the superior Polish force. They're broken, and we have won. Now on to the capital of the Tatar region. The results are in. We lost 700, almost 800 men, while the enemy lost 3,000, 2,000 enemies remaining. Highest killer, pikemen. No surprise there. Oh, and the force, for some reason, Dalka, Eastern Mystic. He picked up some Tatar mystic woman. And he gained a drill master. Drill master is a lot better. Eastern Mystic. Mystic. 5% minus campaign movement range. But 2+ command when battling against the Ottomans. Shockingly wise. Apparently. And we can march straight on to this. Will demand their forts surrender, but they do not comply. So we'll have to take the fort by force. And without further ado, let's go ahead and send the Crimeans to push them against the sea. Right, so let's blow that piece of crap sky high. The arc of those artillery shots is quite high. Also, I note here that because of my spy has taken control of, or set up his spy network in town, that actually means that the gates were destroyed. Which means I don't need to wait for a breach. We can advance already onto the town. So I will order the entire army forward. My assurances, my lord, from the spy. The gates have been disabled. We'll break the walls for good measure, but send forward the entire army. We will need to destroy these before the Crimean force that held the river comes back. So we'll march straight on it. There's only one regiment holding the wall in front. All of the other regiments are stationed inside the walls, and a lot of it is just armed populace. So it'll be one hell of a pike fight inside the walls. We've got mortar firing out. It's not targeting the pikemen though, which is the only unit I would really be worried that would be hit. We have a really small, tiny infantry regiment that we're not going to send forward. Infantry will line up, kind of fire towards the wall, and then the pikemen will march through. I've already shot this part down to 50%. 60 at this point. A few shots are even landing inside, hitting these guys so they kind of know what's coming towards them. instead of the fort actually being there to protect them, because of all the openings, it's kind of turned into a death trap instead. I wonder, it's just how accurate these guys on the wall are. They are on the high ground. To see if they actually do quite a bit of damage on us before we get through. And also, it's kind of a tight spot to get all my... how many do I have? How many pike units do we have? We bring 6. So almost 3,000 pikemen ish ready to come through. Loads of bullets cutting these guys down. And I think that this wall will actually be, yeah, it will be broken once the pikemen arrive. So I can just send a load of the pikemen in through the breach instead. Boom, there it goes. I'll order the artillery to fire it well instead. And they're sending out the garrison to actually fight us outside the walls, which seems rather foolish. The pikemen just walking here are winded. I was gonna tell them to start running, but a few units are winded just by walking here. So not to make them too tired for melee combat, we'll continue to walk them forward towards the wall. We are suppressing this unit on the wall pretty well. Normally you're not really able to, or at least I guess I've playing Napoleon Total War 3. You can't really suppress the troops up on the wall with superior firepower normally. Tired and shaken from taking fire, both artillery and musket fire from the militia outside. Oh, and now the pikemen are here, ready to cross through the musketmen. Tell them to hold fire and let the pikemen through. Then I tell the cannons to fire at will. You are free to fire and cut down that garrison unit that's holding the gap in the wall. Why aren't they firing? There we go. Give it one shot for each cannon. And hopefully they'll hit. Okay, then they aren't really hitting. Right. Pikemen, it's time for you to enter the castle. Musketmen, open fire again. Damn, that just swarm of bullets flying onto these guys. Pikemen here cutting through, hopefully breaking this one pretty darn soon. But I think it might be one of those cases where we need to cut these guys down to the very last man. Kind of turned into a mess here with the pikemen. Kind of shooting our own man in the back. But that's the way we do it. You know what? The small unit can actually go and attack these guys from the back. Oh, and this guy is gonna be clever and go through this gate. And I think what I'll do is I'll try to capture the center. That way I don't have to slaughter every single one inside the castle. There goes their general. Should help out quite a bit. Have the pikes charge forward. And these guys are now cornered. From two sides, bristling pikes. Poking at them. Pushing them up against the wall like over here. Stabbing them up against the wall. And once that unit's gone, which it is right now. Oh, all of them are kind of giving away here. The Tatars are giving up. And now the line infantry has nothing to fire at. So they will also enter the town. Together with the militia. Thousands upon thousands of Polish troops now taking control of the inner courtyard. And if it wasn't super obvious already, it's quite clear that we need to hold fire with the cannons. And the fact that the Tatars are losing control of their only province. Another bloody unit coming up. Gonna be able to sandwich this one. Which are actually putting up quite the fight. These guys gonna hide on top of the wall, are they? I think my pikemen can... They can't climb on the outside, but they should be able to climb the stairs, shouldn't they? My pikemen are getting damned amount of chevrons for these. Both of these are at 7. And now you will strike from the back. And suddenly they are poked from both sides. Oh, they can't actually... Pikemen cannot be up on the walls at all. Wow. We send someone to capture the center then. Well, maybe not the line infantry units. They will stay on the sides and fire towards the guys on the wall. And then it will be down to the pikemen to capture the center. Oh, now there's just a small band of brothers holding out in the center here. Now there's only 2 of them left, and now there's only 1 guy impaled from all sides. Oh, now there's only 1 guy. I missed that one. I didn't... There were so many pikes all over the place that hardly could see when he got stabbed. Right, move to take control of the center. And quite a fast siege, 12 minutes. And the fort is ours. All these bloody pikes. And it's not all of the units, is it? It's only... No, it is 6 units, which is the max I can have. At first I first kind of wondered why they would limit the pike unit. But now I can see why they would limit the pike unit. I think in later game though, and against the Western European powers, it's probably not that hot to bring pikemen up against them. And the Tatars, don't have ring bayonet, which is the first step, then socket bayonet, of course. Well, the absolutely first step, which I believe these guys have, is the what's plug bayonet. You plug into the opening of the musket. "20 seconds, and the enemy force will surrender to us. There's only 98 men up there, and on that side there's actually 300 of that garrison unit. But compared to the amount of troops I have down in the courtyard and the cannons outside, there's a really they really don't stand a chance. And there we have it. The fort is ours. And the results are as following. 800 men lost roughly for us, and then the entire force, of course, for the Ottomans, I mean the Crimeans. Pikemen again, doing the most kills. And the place is ours. I'm wondering if I shouldn't actually burn this down, just to build it up looking like a Polish building. Crimeans are destroyed. And he gained some trains. Attacking general. Some other good trains. Attacking general, steady under fire, drill master, superior general. 32 of age. Very good. We'll have the spy move over to, I think, Serbia to check out what's going on there. No, you know what? Someone needs to murder this guy. And then once Dalka has replenished his army, he can make a play for Constantinople. But with that said, we're gonna end it right here. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.